How can you have the person you've always dreamed of? The person of your dreams. How can you make your husband or your wife become the person of your dreams? How can you who are single find the person of your dreams? Take note because this will be on the test. About what Abraham did for his son Isaac. Isaac was almost 40 years old and was still single. However, Abraham didn't want his son just to marry anyone because the hard thing wasn't getting married. Just like today, the hard thing isn't getting married, but getting it right. So he wanted to choose right. He wanted his son to marry, but he didn't want to make mistakes. Knowing this, how did he use his faith? He called his most faithful servant, the one who took care of all his house, and said to him, Eliezer, you will swear to me before God 2 things. You will not allow that my son Isaac marries one of these Canaanite women from this place where we live. Therefore, he didn't want Isaac to marry those Canaanite women. He was there in Canaan, and the Canaanite women were idolaters. They had another faith, another culture. And God had promised Abraham that he would be the founder of a nation, a new offspring. And it had to be of faith in God. This offspring couldn't have anything to do with another faith. So he made his servant swear, first, you will not let my son, if I die before you, you will not let my son marry one of these foreign Canaanites. Secondly, you will not let my son go out to my parents' house, the land of my relatives, to choose a woman according to his own will. Because at that time, parents were responsible for choosing a wife or a husband for their children. Parents would gather, talk, and choose. Obviously, the two would have to like each other. It wasn't something forced. In that time, they relied on their parents' wisdom rather than their children's impulsive nature. As you know, Abraham had been following the voice of God from the moment when God called him and took him out of his land. God had never failed with Abraham. Therefore, Abraham held to God's faithfulness throughout his journey, and he said to his servant, look, the God who swore to me that he would give me offspring, he will send his angel before you and will guide you straight to the woman that he has chosen, the one that he has prepared for my son. It was a journey. He wouldn't go looking for her on the street. He wouldn't go to the next door neighbor, nor to the closest district. He would travel 800 kilometers, months away, to get to Haran, back to the land where Abraham had come from, to the place of his parents' origin. And he wouldn't know who this woman was. But the angel of God guided the servant to Rebekah. And she was there. He hit the bullseye right there. It wasn't like today that you have to slide 100 times to find a match. The match was immediate, without any app, without photo, or without anything like that. The angel's match hit the bullseye. Bang. Right there. She's the one. It was just like that. It's a beautiful story. You can read about it in Genesis chapter 24.
Abraham, he trusted because It's interesting that he didn't send his son there to choose. He could have told his son, "You're going to go there and trust in God because he's going to show you." But he knew that his son, if he would have gone, he would have been guided by his eyes. And Abraham didn't want a beautiful person. He didn't want a wife just simply beautiful, that all she had was beauty. He wanted a wife that would be perfect for him, ideal for him. He wanted to join Isaac and then continue what God had already started with Abraham. So it was very important. Isaac's marriage was very important. If he married the wrong person, he would have interrupted and affected God's plans. So the trust that Abraham had is the trust that you need to have. You're here participating of this love therapy. You've read the books. You're learning many things. But what happens? Sometimes the person becomes anxious. She starts thinking, oh, nothing is happening. I don't see anything. I'm looking around me. I don't see anyone for me. You start questioning and doubting, and you start to interrupt your faith that you're not trusting. And to trust is more difficult than faith. It's easier for you to have faith to do things than for you to trust. Because trust, it requires time. Sometimes you just see, oh, how beautiful. This is a perfect couple. Oh, it's so romantic. But there is so many details behind that couple that was created by God, that marriage that was put together. There are many details, and the main detail was trust.
And not only that, trust, but also the way Abraham instructed Isaac during these 40 years while his son was single. There is no doubt that Abraham taught Isaac all that he knew and prepared him to be a husband. And Abraham knew how to be a good husband. And since he prepared Isaac, because Isaac was the husband every woman dreamed about, now he could seek out the right girl. He could trust that the angel of God would guide his servant to seek and find Rebekah, the woman of Isaac's dreams. And it was such a divine encounter that when they saw each other for the first time, I wouldn't say it was love at first sight. I don't believe in love at first sight. I think the sentence itself is a great discrimination to blind people. But I do believe that it was love prepared by God, a love commissioned by God. God first prepared Isaac through Abraham, and while Isaac was being prepared, God was preparing Rebekah as well. Something you must keep in mind, all you singles out there. One thing you must have as a standard, Cristiane was talking about, is that you must have the trust. This faith, sometimes you look around and see nobody. You only see Canaanites and foreigners, right? You say, there's no one for me. No one around here matches with me. Like when Abraham looked around and there was no one for his son there. He didn't see the blessing with his eyes, but inside of him, he believed. That is the faith, the trust you must have no matter what. You may not see the blessing, but inside, you have to believe that God is preparing someone for you. You woman have to believe God is preparing my Isaac. You man, God is preparing my Rebekah. You have to believe this. Now, coming back to the question I brought up in the beginning, how can you find a woman of your dreams or the man of your dreams? How can you make your current husband or your current wife the woman of your dreams or the man of your dreams? The answer is you first become the person of that someone's dream and not being that person's nightmare. So, as Abraham prepared Isaac for 40 years and then realized he is ready. Now I can request, seek, get him a wife because he was ready. Just like him, you also have to focus on getting ready to be the Isaac for the Rebecca you want, or to be the Rebecca for the Isaac you want. You have to work on that. Maybe you are married to someone today who is a nightmare. He or she is not a dream. They are a nightmare. But you are also a little nightmare. You are also a little monster. You are also someone who's hard to deal with. You have a bad temper. There is no use in wanting someone who is a dream come true while you yourself are still a nightmare. You have to focus on yourself. When we see the story of Rebecca, we also see that she was not the person who suddenly became a chosen one. No, she was already living a life of a future wife worthy of marrying Abraham's son. She was getting ready for this. So when you start getting ready because you believe you will find the person of your dreams, you become the person of someone's dreams. How do you think your future husband's dream woman would be like? Oh, Bishop, she would be like the woman thinks. He would like a girl with a great figure, that he would like someone physically attractive. But that's where you're wrong. You've certainly seen the opposite out there. Sometimes you see men that are even, good looking. You see this handsome guy with a woman who's not so pretty. And when your woman see that, you comment to your friend and say, what does he see in her? I don't know what he sees in her. Am I right or wrong? You're just wishing you were that girl. I don't know what he sees in her. That's how it is. After all, sometimes a hot chick can burn you badly. What's the point of having a hot chick and becoming a burn victim? The question is, how is the wife of my husband's dream? Of course, he can still be a bit immature, a young man with no life experience who says, oh, I want my wife who looks like this, like that. But those who have a bit more of their brain know that it's not enough to be pretty. He understands that a good-looking woman who's empty inside won't give him what he wants. So, what's the type of woman that no man would want to exchange? A woman like Rebecca. And we'll read her story too. We'll talk more about her in this series. But what I mean is, you woman have to become the woman of someone's dreams. You man, ask yourself this question. What kind of man? How is the husband of my wife's dream? What type of man my wife would like to have? Then you start to change who you are. Work to be an Isaac. Then yes, you will also have a Rebecca. You'll have a woman of your dreams. So, where does it start? Having the person of your dreams starts when you stop being a nightmare.
Yeah, and it's what many people don't focus on. People, they simply focus on the other person. So you're married, you focus on that person. They have to change, they have to change, they have to be like this and that. Or because you're single, you keep looking, where are they? Where is this person? You have to trust while you're trusting that God is working, that the work that you can't do. You need to be working on yourself. The single person has this privilege. The one who is married, many times they have to do that while they're in a problem in the marriage, which is more difficult. You have to look at yourself, you have to work on yourself and that person. But the single person, they're by themselves, so they can't. But what many single people do is that they keep looking for someone. They don't work on themselves. They don't look at themselves and seeing, how am I as a daughter? How am I as a coworker? In my work, how am I? Am I too serious? Is no one able to come near me? And that's something that you're working on in yourself, so that when God brings that person, he's going to make something happen for you to meet that person. You're going to click with that person, like it happened with Isaac and Rebecca. But both of them, they prepared themselves. So you women, you who are single, instead of liking, I wouldn't even say liking because that's losing time. I would say work on yourself. Get to know yourself. Work on healing yourself. Resolve your past. Forgive those that you need to forgive. Let's look ahead. Let's be a person, a better person. And then, when you least expect it, an Isaac will appear in your life. You're going to be ready. You're not going to damage that relationship. And you who are a wife, you who are a husband, you're already in a marriage. I know that it's more difficult because sometimes there's a person there by your side who is not working on themselves. But your change is going to make that person feel bad. Oh, they are. They're going to start feeling bad because they're going to see that you're okay. You're not screaming anymore. You're not arguing anymore about everything. You're not pointing your finger, judging. You stopped. So you've resolved yourself and that person first. They're going to start thinking that something is wrong, and they're going to want to make you go back to who you were before. That's normal. Don't go back. They're challenging you. Then you're going to see that the person's going to start to competing with you. They're going to want to change as well. And they're going to see, if I don't change, I'm going to lose this wife, this husband, because this person is a Rebecca and Isaac. I can't lose this person. So they're going to, start working.
When you work on becoming the person of your dreams, especially when you're in a relationship, it's difficult because we usually have a very inflated opinion about ourselves. The Bible itself says, don't be wise in your own eyes. In other words, don't be full of yourself. And we're full of ourselves. I thought I was the guy, that I was an excellent husband. I thought she had no reason to complain. I would ask her, why are you complaining? I don't drink, I don't cheat on you, I don't, etc. And then we start to brag about our good points. But those are necessary virtues. I saw myself as a wonderful husband, and she also thought she was a delightful wife. We usually don't see our mistakes until you get married and the other person starts pointing out all your mistakes. So, when you start to look at yourself and understand, wait, I need to improve myself. I want to be better. I shouldn't demand from my spouse what I don't give or what I don't do. I will start to do my part so that my spouse has nothing bad to say about me. Then the Holy Spirit will have to act. That's what Abraham did. We have a part that we have to act upon, but there is also a thing we can't do because only the Holy Spirit can. Abraham used his faith, but he also did his part. Therefore, become the person of someone's dream before you find the person of your dreams.
Imagine waking up one day to find that you married the wrong person, or that you lost your true love because you ruined your relationship, or that you'd missed it when that special person came into your life. For those who don't want to spend the rest of their lives regretting a bad decision, Bulletproof Dating is a must-read, no matter what stage of singleness you're in. Whether you're alone, waiting, dating, picking up the pieces of your broken heart, divorced, or widowed, this book will help you navigate the complicated world of modern relationships. Years of experience have given Renato and Cristiane authority to say that most divorces start during the dating phase. Bulletproof Dating is a manual for all ages and will open your eyes and show you practical actions you can take. It's time to learn intelligent love. Ebook available on Amazon.com and other online retailers.
Does your love life need a little boost? An upgrade? A complete overhaul? Worry not. We've got the right treatment just for you. It's the Love Therapy course. Live stream from Houston, Texas every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time with Dave and Evelyn Higginbotham, teaching practical advice for both married couples and for singles to deal with the day-to-day ins and outs of romance and relationship issues.
If we make a mistake, it's not a problem to make a mistake, but if we make a mistake and we don't learn from it, that is a serious problem.
American culture is, follow your heart.
Yeah.
What does your heart tell you? Don't let anybody stop you. If you love this person, don't let them stop you. Go for this dream that you have. That's almost elevated as this noble thing.
Watch the Love Therapy live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time on the Living Faith Network website, or scroll through the archives of past Love Therapy sessions on ulfn.org. For more information, comments, or questions, call 888-332-4141 or text 888-312-4141.
Did you know that over 50% of couples who get divorced regret not trying harder to save their marriage? No one gets married to later get a divorce, but sometimes it seems like there's no other option. Wait, you haven't tried everything. Bulletproof Marriage has already helped millions of couples all around the world to avoid separation. Even if one party isn't willing to change, or the relationship seems like a lost cause, give yourself this opportunity. Read this amazing book and shield your marriage against divorce. Buy the book on Amazon.com today.